Story 1. Oh goodness, so many. I have a friend who loves screamo metal, but no one else likes it, so he doesn't invite anyone when he goes. I don't mind it, but he stopped inviting me when I brought large headphones to drown out the noise. To be fair, they were over the top. One day, a few friends were hanging out, and we texted him. He declined hanging out because he wanted to go to the small concert from a band he found online. The four of us all drove to the concert, paid $12 to $15 to get in, all ordered beer behind him and one for him, and walked up right behind him to hang out at something he wanted to do. We then hung out in the parking lot after the concert, just talking. Story 2. I was in the basement of my old house with a bunch of good friends sitting in a circle, drinking and listening to music, when I asked my friend across the room if I could have a cigarette. Without thinking, he threw his lit cigarette at me, and with a straight face, I caught it perfectly between my fingers without barely moving. I took a deep hit while the entire room of people went crazy over how impressive it was. We still talk about it to this day, and that was almost 8 years ago. Story 3. A friend's bachelor party a few years ago. Nothing crazy happened, but it was just guys going paintballing, getting a burger at a fancy burger place, checking out a few good bars, and then back to a budget hotel where we stayed up just chatting. Story 4. My friends and I stole a couch from our high school hallway and carried it about half a mile to a bridge. We set it up underneath the bridge among some bushes, and it became our daily smoke spot for the next couple of years. That is one of the many good times we had. Story 5. We were going to Taco Bell. There were 5 of us, 2 in front and 3 in back. The guy sitting next to me in the middle leaned forward to make his order, and the guy on the left window seat grabbed a water bottle and shoved it up the middle guy's backside. His order came out as, "I'll have a bean burrito." We all stifled our laughter until we finished taking the order. Then we died of laughter. Story 6. Freshman year of high school, 2 senior guys and I, all of us in the percussion section, assembled a cabinet in the band room by ourselves, and we used it throughout all 4 years of marching band. There it remains to this very day. Nothing like a little, none of us have any carpentry skills, but we will get this darn IKEA cabinet together for a positive male bonding experience. Story 7. In high school, I got my first car, a 1987 Mercury Grand Marquis. It had bench front seats like a sofa. So, naturally, 5 of my friends skipped school with me for the day to go to the beach. The song Local God by Everclear was on full blast on the radio and in our hearts. As I recall, the lyrics go something like, "I feel just like a local god when I'm with the boys. We do what we want. Yeah, we do what we want." I'm 35 now, and still to this day, I've not felt that amount of total freedom and camaraderie. Story 8. Getting chased out of a golf course by police half-naked only for one of us to get caught and slapped because the officer was mad he tripped on a branch. Funniest thing of my life. Story 9. 4 of us drove up to the wedding of a 5th friend who had moved to Montana. On the way back, we stopped on a back road to get out and stretch our legs. Beautiful view. I saw why they call it Big Sky Country. All of us just standing near each other, enjoying the view, knowing we were the best of friends. One of the last times we were all ever together. Story 10. Junior year of high school, November 2nd to 5th, 2019. Marching band state competition year. I had this tight-knit group of friends in the band who I named after Alpha 9 Squad from Halo 3, ODST. We made it to state, which was already a big deal. My friends and I roomed together, and then we walked onto that field and we gave it our all. Out of hundreds of bands, we placed 3rd. It was the happiest moment of our lives. We all cried tears of joy. Story 11. I was on a golf trip with my buddies. We were renting a trailer in the country that had a TV but no cable, just some rabbit ears. We hadn't even turned it on because we were golfing, barbecuing, or playing poker the whole time. One day, golf got rained out badly, and we had nothing to do. We decided to try the TV to see if we could get anything, and we were able to get just one channel, but it was crystal clear and Dumb and Dumber was just starting. We all got high on hash someone had and drank beers, crying with laughter for a couple of hours. 6 of us were on the trip, and not a single disagreement in a week either, which blew my mind. Good times. Story 12. taking my 50-inch television off my wall mount and setting up tents while under the influence of mushrooms so we could watch Harry Potter in the backyard was a terrible idea. Harry Potter is scary on mushrooms. I do not recommend it. Story 13. Growing up, I lived next door to a 65-year-old woman named Karen, and I couldn't even play basketball with my little brother without her coming out and saying the noise of us playing was annoying her. The night before I left for college, my friends and I did a drive-by egging on the side of her house. I'm still angry at her for that. Story 14. Trying mushrooms for the first time and ending in a group hug, like we escaped some sort of three-dimensional reality and came back and met each other on the other side. Story 15. Me and the boys all went to our buddy's new apartment. It was a small one-bedroom, overall not big. The six of us decided to have a local area network party in his bedroom. To put it into perspective, he had a queen-size bed, and there was about 4 feet to the closet from the foot, and about 5 feet to the other wall from the side. I set my personal computer up in the closet, used a shoebox for my monitor stand, and put my mouse pad on top of my case. I sat in one of those little curved chairs that rocks back and forth but is really low to the ground. We stuffed me as far into the closet as possible. One other friend had a laptop and sat on the head of the bed. Another set up literally in the doorway on top of an entry table my buddy had, with his keyboard on his lap. Another set up on top of a shoe shelf at the foot of the bed. Another set up on a chair with his tower under the chair, his monitor on the headboard, and his mouse pad on top of a small dining tray. Another set up back to back with the other guy on the chair and used a bar stool and the windowsill. We played Ion and Diablo 3 for 3 days straight like that. Bacon waffles, cigars, smoked tri-tip, balls, energy soda, Mountain Dew. Good times. Good times. Story 16. Some of my friends and I gathered for a local area network party a couple of years ago. We played games for a good while, but we all ended up just sitting around a table talking. No games, no technology, nothing. We all put our phones down and just talked the night away. Just me and the boys sitting around a table talking about life. Story 17. My parents were out of town. There were 3 of us. Adam, Bill, and me. It was around 11 at night. We were hungry and bored, so we ordered a pizza and then spent the next half hour crafting an elaborate prank to pull. I got on the roof of my house, dressed in all black, hidden behind the chimney. The pizza delivery person didn't see me when he came up. Adam and Bill opened the door. While they were busy with the transaction, I jumped off the roof, landed with a loud thud, and screamed, "I'm free!" and started running down the street. Bill said, "Did he get out?" and chased after me. It would have been perfect, but Adam was laughing so hard that the delivery person knew it was a prank. Also maybe because he was a pizza delivery person and we were teenagers. We tipped him well and that was that. Or was it? The next time my parents were out of town, we did this again. This time it was Bill, Charlie, and me. Charlie was nice enough to use his credit card to pay for the pizza, which was great because neither Bill nor I had one yet. We learned something from the last time. We needed to practice the prank beforehand, so we wouldn't have someone ruin it by laughing like Adam did. This time we had a new prank. In order to set this up, you should know that the basement stairs at my house were right across from the front door. Our plan was this. When the pizza delivery person showed up, I would hobble in from the hallway on some crutches. We taped up my leg to make it look like I was really hurt. Then, Bill would take one of my crutches and push me down the stairs. I knew how to fall down the stairs without hurting myself. You wouldn't believe it, though, from the screaming in pain I was acting out. Then, Bill would rip off a big piece of duct tape from a roll that happened to be on the handrail to the stairs, yell, "Shut up!" as he stomped down the stairs and put tape over my mouth so I'd be quiet. There was just one problem, Charlie. Every single time we'd go back upstairs at the end of our practice skit, and there was Charlie leaning against the wall, face red, wheezing in pain because he was laughing so hard. We tried this half a dozen times, and every single time he just lost it. And we couldn't just switch roles because he needed to sign for his credit card. So we added a step. Charlie came down first, ripped the duct tape and put it over my mouth. Then Bill said, "Hey, we need you to sign for the card." And he went up. Then Bill came down, slammed his fist on the wall, and I went quiet, to make it sound like he slammed my head on the wall. The pizza delivery person asked, "Are you guys for real?" Charlie said, "He's a freshman." Bill said, "How do you think he hurt his leg in the first place?" Looking back, I'm surprised we didn't get a visit from the police on that one. But I'll always remember Charlie cracking up every time we practiced that. Years later, I was at a gas station, and there was a pizza delivery person at the next pump. I told him these stories. He said, "That's hilarious. As long as you're not trying to beat me up, rob me, or steal my pizza, I don't really care. That's just a good story to tell when I get back." Story 18. When we all meet up at our designated apartment that we go to smoke weed, we have long smoke sessions watching random shows on Netflix lasting the whole day. Can't do it anymore because of COVID-19. Rest in peace. Story 19. We were on holiday in Portugal. 4 a.m., it was steaming. We had been on the strip all night, ended up walking around with some girls we met purely for banter. We ended up taking them home and walking through some sort of residence. There was a pool, so we just said forget it and jumped in. One of us passed out on a sun recliner. After about 15 minutes, security appeared, so we had to scatter and run. The regroup once we were safe was quality. So much laughing. Story 20. Getting a house for a weekend only to have our soon-to-be-married friend convinced we got a stripper. We didn't, but we were laughing that he would not come into the house. Story 21. My friends and I during freshman year used to ironically chant the phrase from High School Musical, "What team? Wildcats." And one time we were all in the restroom of a store and one of my friends, who was in the stall, started it. Next thing you know, we're all screaming in this public bathroom, laughing and just being really silly. I think I still have the video from that day, but it was so much fun and funny. I haven't heard from those friends in years now. Story 22. We were all on a beach sitting around a campfire, and suddenly we started humming as if we were doing some sort of ritual. This went on for about 40 minutes uninterrupted, all of us just humming and being together. We didn't talk about it at all afterward, and the fact that none of us needed an explanation for doing it made it all the better. Story 23. In my mid-20s, my friends and I went to a new bar. We were getting attention from a group of girls. Unfortunately, I struck out as usual, but I still had a great time. My friend said the next day, "We had that place by the balls." Story 24. We are a group of 6 people. We met in high school, and since then we have been on 5 to 6 road trips. We try to do it every year, but after high school, some of us went abroad to study, and some moved back to their hometown. Still, we all manage every year to get together against all odds and plan a new trip. And let me tell you, those road trips are amazing. As we grow older, the more fun we have. Story 25. The time it took me and 2 other friends to walk 1 mile for 4-cent burger night. We left school at 1 p.m. and didn't make it to the restaurant until about 8:30 to 9 p.m. Story 26. During one of the rehearsals for my school's musical this year, we were supposed to learn our voice parts. We were at one end of the hallway, and the girls were at the other end. We decided to play leapfrog to the other end of the hall to disrupt the girls. Just imagine 20 or so high schoolers yelling at the top of their lungs playing leapfrog. Once we leapfrogged back to our end of the hall, we all spooned because we were tired. Story 27. Some guy in the school playground poked a hole in their water bottle, so when they squeezed it, a jet of water would come shooting out. He started doing it to everyone in the playground, and my friends and I started sprinting away. We got to the top of a set of steps leading to a classroom and then lured the guy with the bottle over to us. On his way, sprinting at full speed as we taunted him, he tripped over, fell up the stairs, and flopped on top of his bottle. When he got up, he had a huge wet patch all over his shirt and trousers. Good times, good times. Looked like he'd wet himself. Story 28. My 2 male friends and I all experienced romantic disappointments on the same weekend. So we went out to dinner together and spent the next couple of days hanging out. It was awesome and really helped me recover. Story 29. Had a sleepover with my boys. We didn't have enough room, so we slept so close to each other. Couldn't get any more gayer. Woke up with my head resting on my friend's arm. Story 30. This may seem childish compared to the others, but we were just relaxing in a basement, watching television, listening to music, writing songs, and just having a good time overall. Story 31. 2 days ago, when my virtual friend and I met in real life, we had fun and learned more about each other. We drank alcohol together, and that was the most memorable experience I ever had with my friends. I will never forget this night. Story 32. We had a convoy going to Illinois for one of our friends' birthdays living there. We were the most awkward-looking convoy of cars you've ever seen. I can't even describe the silly things we did on the way up there other than one moment of the lead Jeep playing Miley Cyrus's Party in the USA for about an hour. Edit. I'm pretty sure one of the guys flashed cars like a girl with breasts. Story 33. Going on a camping trip with the boys for a friend who was shipping off to Army basic training. We got very drunk the night before and woke up around 11 a.m. The campground we were going to was 4 hours away, and we planned to leave at 6 a.m. We all got up in a rush and left to get there before the grounds were swarmed with people. As we arrived, we realized that we left a good majority of our gear 4 hours back home. We had a tent, a cooler full of hot dogs, a can of chili, our sleeping bags, and a barbecue grate. Other than that, we left everything else. Not to mention this was in January and happened to be the night that it was going to drop from 65 degrees to 12 degrees at night. Besides that, we made it there, set up camp, and went to explore the wilderness surrounding us. One of my friends fell into a river, and another fell off a small cliff, and when his keys fell out of his pocket, he sounded like a cartoon character collecting rings. We collected firewood and started our poor fire and made hot dogs and chili, only to realize we didn't have a pot or anything to hold the hot dogs or chili. We decided to dip cold hot dogs in a semi-warm can of chili and afterwards got very drunk again, then fell asleep in our tent. We messed up again because no one brought pillows, blankets, or anything else to keep warm. We decided to zip our sleeping bags together and huddle like penguins. We barely made it through the night. In the morning, I was relieving myself when my buddy next to me dug a hole, used it as a toilet, and then accidentally fell backward into the same hole. Needless to say, he wasn't a happy camper. I would rate the experience 10 out of 10 and would do it again with the boys. I'm really missing them right about now. It's been about 5 years since I've seen them.